Think about this. Where's the weirdest place that you've ever gotten drunk? I used to get drunk in a lot of weird places because I didn't like to spend a lot of money when I went out. So I would
So obviously not at your house and not at a bar, because those are probably the two most likely places.
My friend had a conversion van that we would always take out. And it's always funny because we'd always have to call somebody sober to meet us down, and they'd have to come down with somebody else, pick up the conversion van and drive us back home. But the conversion van turned into our little RV before we went out on the weekends or went to football games, because we could save money by drinking in the conversion van. So we play, drinking games.
It was in your conversion van with you at a concert at a community college, and we got busted by security.
It's a weird place to drink. That's a weird place to drink.
I mean, is it though? It's like a tailgate.
Today's dumbass has us beat in the weird places to drink. Have you ever drank behind a dumpster? Is that rock bottom?
No, I'm not homeless.
Is that even though you're not homeless? Sometimes you're like, oh yeah, we just drink it behind the dumpster and then we can go in. I've done that before. I don't feel like, is that rock bottom? I mean, should that be?
That's very close.
That should be the definition of rock bottom,
I think
right?
It's
you're behind
close.
a dumpster.
If it's not rock bottom, it's got to be right there.
You're behind a dumpster, but I don't consider it rock bottom. I consider it frugal going out, like socializing.
How pathetic can some people be?
I heard a guy say once that he recently dined at Pizza Hut. I recently dined at Pizza Hut. Yeah, I don't think that's the right combination of words either. I was like, oh, you dined at Pizza Hut? Is that before or after you made love to a prostitute? What do you think? I don't know. People say things that they don't need to. Like, people call Target Target sometimes, and I tell those people to J away from me. Do you know what I mean? I tell them, while you're at it, why don't you forget my phone number? How about that? Why don't you...
Dumbass of the day. 93.3 KZOZ.
I think the reason that people call Target Target is because there was a popular chain of clothing stores.
No, this is
called the Bon Marché.
This is only a Pacific Northwest thing, though, and people call Target coast to
like
coast.
Marché, Target, like it's a higher.
And Bon was bought by Macy's, so you can't tell me that they had any expansion beyond the Pacific Northwest.
I don't know. I don't know where they were at. I know they were West Coast. I think they had Bon Marchés down here. No,
it was all Macy's down here.
Before
the Bon Marché was exclusively Pacific Northwest chain.
Oh, okay.
Of a department store. I mean, maybe down into Oregon, maybe Idaho. I doubt Idaho. Probably just Oregon.
It was a while ago.
That's why we would call. My dad called Kmart K-Marché.
Oh, I know. My mom did too. But I thought it was all from the Bon Marché.
It's like a Dillard's. Dillard.
Oh, Dillard's is a nice store. They have one in Lake Havasu. They're based on the East Coast or Midwest. I don't know. But they're like a Nordstrom's. Like, they carry all those nice brands.
I've
without
been to
that
the
price.
Target that today's dumbass of the day comes from. Lathrop, California, just south of Modesto. Suspected shoplifter. Inside, they have surveillance video of her walking inside the changing room, but they can't put cameras in the changing room. So she goes in there and she takes 6-pack of beer from inside the Target with her and decides to pound the 6-pack of Stella Artois. Speaking of Target, you can only get Stella Artois at Target. She takes it into the dressing room and stays in there for over an hour, pounds the beers. After she finishes the beers, like, that's a horrible plan. She went in there with $200 worth of merchandise. She put it on and she walked out of the store with it. Liquid courage, right? Gotta have liquid courage. Oh, they'll never arrest me if I have 6 of their beers in me.
Well, prove it that you consumed them in the privacy of a changing room.
Like, don't they have attendants? If you go into, I would hope.
No, probably not at Target.
I would hope if I went into the Target dressing room and I was in there for an hour, somebody would be like, "Oh, excuse me, sir, are you okay in there?" At some point in time, somebody would come up to me and like, "Is there anything else I can grab for you? Just making sure you're okay because you've been in there for an hour and I've heard 6 bottles of beer open up."
What is she doing with all the empties? Just under that little bench you sit on?
Apparently it's not really monitored all that well, so you just leave them there. She was later identified as Alicia Johnson. She was arrested and booked in the San Joaquin County Jail right down the street from the Target in Lathrop. suspicion of shoplifting, and get this, 3 other warrants out for arrest.
It's very sad to have to drink alone, but to have to drink alone in a Target dressing room.
Liquid courage right there.
Come on, man. Give her a break. By the way, the Bon Marché, it was only a Northwest institution, so once again, you were correct,
Did
sir.
you fact
Great
check,
memory.
Did you fact check for purposes of your own knowledge, or did you fact check because you were hoping to call me out on something?
I really thought they were on the West Coast, but they're really just Northwest into Montana, Idaho,
I'm not like you.
and of course Washington
No,
State.
I'm not like you. I don't run my mouth
The Bon
as
Marché
if it's fact.
was opened by a French dude in the late 1800s in Seattle, Washington. But do you remember the song they would have for the Bon Marché commercials? You wouldn't if you're listening here. But if you're from the Northwest.
Dale,
Yes!
one day sail.
One day only at the Bon Marché.
He's Dale.
I would much rather get drunk by myself
How
in a
much
Bon Marché changing room than a Target changing room.
How much did they have to pay Harry Belafonte? Was it Harry Belafonte that did that song? How much did they have to pay him for the licensing rights to sing it for their one day only sale?
Yeah.
And then when they changed to Macy's and they got bought out by Macy's, they kept the song and they were like, at Macy's. And it just didn't work.
I know.
It
was
didn't
bad.
work at all.
But the Bon Marché was perfect for him. One day sale. One day only at the Bon Marché.
Alicia, congratulations.
Should have been at the Bon Marché. Would have been a nicer dressing room.
Yeah, but they would have checked on you after an hour. You're Jeff and Jeremy.
Dumbass of the day. It's Jeff and Jeremy in the morning on 93.3 KZOZ.
So we're asking people, where's the weirdest place they ever got drunk? And Cassie writes in, she says, Bouncy House. Yes, that would be a really weird place to get drunk.
Is that? I don't know why I thought of Chuck E. Cheese, but obviously we're not talking.
I'm
about
thinking
Chuck E.
kids'
Cheese,
birthday
but-
party. Okay, okay. Let's break down some of these scenarios that people have posted on our Facebook page, and let's break down how we thought the scenario took place. She just says bouncy house, doesn't give much details. Bouncy house. You're done with the kids' birthday party. Everybody's gone. And you need to take the edge off a little bit. You grab whatever's left in the cooler, and you're like, I'm going to go sit in this bouncy house and take a break for a minute. Then a friend sees you drinking in the bouncy house. Then they're like, hey, you need a friend in there to help you? Yeah. Next thing you know, you got 2 or 3 people. You're sitting in a bouncy house, and you're 3 sheets to the wind.
That's not a bad deal.
Cody says that he got drunk on the top bunk of his kid's bunk bed. What scenario puts you in a situation where you are drinking on the top bunk of the kid's bunk bed?
Yeah. Would you get locked in? Are you babysitting the kid and you got to be in the room with him? And so you're like, let's get hammed.
I can't
figure that out.
think of that one.
Tex writes in the ER waiting room.
I talked.
That takes a lot.
I talked
that's-
earlier of cutting costs and going into events, or events or bars, and we would take my friend's conversion van. And I remember once we could have died, really. We were in the Tri-Cities, Washington. This is Kennewick. What are the other towns? Pasco and Richland.
Yes.
Kennewick, Pasco, and Richland. They comprise
Right outside Yakima.
They comprise the Tri-Cities, right up from the Columbia River in Oregon and Washington. It's on the Washington side. They have these boat races there. They are hydroplane races. They're very fun to watch.
I
And
think people know about the hydroplanes.
I don't know if you
They
know
race
about
all
them.
over the country.
They race in San Diego and in
Yeah.
the Pacific Northwest
And Florida, too.
and Florida. They have these hydroplane races, and you go to them, and it's a big party. It's a big party. People, the beer gardens, everybody's out drinking. They're having a good time. It's 110 degrees outside, so everybody's wearing next to nothing, jumping in the water whenever you can, whenever there's not a boat in the water, and they'll allow you to jump in the water so you can cool off. Well, me and my friend, we decide it's a good idea to save money on the beer garden, and what we'll do is we'll drink beer in the van, in the car, 112 degrees outside. We're sitting in the van, drinking beer, and we can't get drunk. We're drinking as fast as we think of how fast you drink beer in a car that's probably 180 degrees inside of it.
Yeah.
You're drinking that beer fast.
But you're sweating it out.
But you're sweating it out.
Yeah.
You're sweating it out. I'm drinking I would tell Target girl to hold my beer. I mean, that's how fast I was drinking beer. She drinks 6 in an hour. I probably put away 8 in an hour and a half. And I'm dripping with sweat. And I remember walking outside of the van thinking that 112 degree temperature felt like air conditioning because it was so hot in that van. Don't try this at home, whatever you do, because it won't get you to where you're going. And that is that buzz that you're looking to have when you went in. It's gone. I was drenched with sweat. Just drenched with sweat. Me and my buddy, we were like walking around, looked like we just got done doing some hot yoga.
You know, as you're telling me this story, I'm just racking my brain thinking, come on, Jeremy, you've had to get drunk somewhere that it's odd. And, you know, your van outside of the community college.
My van, my friend's van, dumpster. I've got it covered. I got you covered.
You got drunk in a dumpster?
No, behind a dumpster.
Behind a dumpster?
Getting drunk in the dumpster would be the problem. Would be very problematic.
Yeah. As I say, at school once, but everybody gets drunk at school, right? Everybody's been drunk at school one time. I
once had a friend. We were coming back from a concert somewhere on Lower Queen Anne. I think we went and saw Nirvana that night at the arena. And my friend sits down and starts talking to this guy who's a homeless man.
Is this Kyle when he shared a beer with him?
Yeah, this guy was drinking a beer out of
there.
Aquafina. So it wasn't Nirvana. It was some.
No, it was some other time because I knew you then.
Maybe we were just going to the karaoke bar or something.
Yeah.
And he drank this wheat-looking beer from an Aquafina bottle.
Oh, God. I'm going to vomit. Because I kept going, that's not beer, dude!
Kyle's talking to him. He's like, hey, what are you drinking? He's like, oh, it's this really good craft bear. Like, Kyle swears to this day that it was beer. I was like, I don't know, dude. I would not have trusted him. Out of an Aquafina bottle.
Yeah, those were the days, right?
That's rock bottom.
Subscribe to the Jeff and Jeremy podcast now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, and YouTube. It's your Central Coast commute-friendly podcast.